everyone, welcome to Make Moments Matter, a music education podcast, where I share lesson ideas, songs, games, and inspiring things for your elementary music classroom. My name is David Rao, and I am the music teacher who blogs at makemomentsmatter.org. This episode of the podcast is a replay containing the audio version of a Musical Mondays live video. If you're not familiar with Musical Mondays, every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I go live on Facebook and Instagram to share about the lessons that I'm using in class with my students. I give a recap of my kindergarten through 5th grade lessons, and then do a deep dive about one grade level and share the books, instruments, songs, and process that I use to teach the lesson to kids. This podcast episode contains all the audio from the Musical Mondays video, but if you'd like to see a replay of the video itself, you can find a link to the archived video on YouTube when you click the link in the notes for this episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's the show. Hey everyone, my name is David Rao, and I'm the music teacher who blogs at makemomentsmatter.org. You can also find my ideas on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok, a variety of places when you search for my name, David Rao, or Make Moments Matter. I am so excited to talk with you tonight about a song that I'm using for my upcoming concert with my first graders. It's a song about traveling to the forest, traveling to the mountains. And I want to talk about where I found the song and the adaptations I'm making and kind of how I'm going to present it with kids. Because the concert's next week, so it's all kind of come together. So I'm excited to share about that. In just a second, I'll be talking through the process, how I taught it, what I'm doing, the modifications, and all of that. Before I get there, really quickly, if you want to see any of the resources, the ideas, the puppets, all the things I share, I put links to all those in one place on my blog, makemomentsmatter.org, under the video tab, or you can just, wherever you're watching or listening to this, you should be able to click a link in the bottom of the caption. It should take you right there. Also, if you are like, hey, I would love to do get more quality content, but I don't want to just get it through my screen or through my podcast or whatever, I do in-person workshops. The next one's coming up April 18th with the Greater Rochester Orff chapter. It's going to be so much fun. So if you are in New York, around the Rochester area, come and join us. We would love to have you. Links to that are in the links page, or you can just look up the Greater Rochester Orff chapter if you want to find more information. I'm wearing my Kansas Orff chapter, local chapter t-shirt today. Yes, it's cool. Yes, it has gold letters. Be jealous if you're in another Orff chapter. I think our shirts are pretty cool, and the sunflower is Kansas. So anyway, but just all that to say, like, find your local chapter, find the local place where you can get quality professional development, because not only do you like get to go and like enjoy workshops, but I find that like the connections I make with people are just so great and so important. So go find your local Orff chapter. It is absolutely worth it. No matter who the presenter is or what the topic is, you're going to get something great if you go to that workshop and meet people. It's going to be worth your time. If you are thinking like, hey, I should think about my personal professional development over time, think about the summer, because in the summer you can take extended courses and get great information and become a better teacher, become a better person. And I really advocate for Orff levels, which is like professional development through Orff Schulwerk. I'm actually teaching a couple classes this summer. I'm teaching Orff Level 1 in Orlando. That's in June 1st through the 12th. There's still seats for that if you're interested. I'm also teaching Orff Level 2 at the University of Missouri St. Louis. That is July 6th through the 17th. There are also still seats for that if you're interested. So in either place, come and join us, or find your local levels course, find your place to get that PD. You can actually find where all of the courses are going to be this summer. Most of them are posted already on the AOSA website, which is aosa.org. And you can find all the local stuff and become a part. It's going to be totally worth it. It changed my life. I'm just going to go. No pressure, but it's going to be amazing. It's going to change your life. No. But go check that out. See what you can do this summer and become a better teacher, a better person. It's totally worth it. Okay. Before I get into, I know I said I was going to talk about this story about this song about going to the forest and how I'm going to adapt and change it. I also want to talk about my newest puppet. I think it's hilarious. I got this from my great friends at Sweet Pipes. Sweet Pipes, if you don't know, is not, it's a music store, but not just a music store. I mean, they sell things online. They also, they have booths and things at state conventions. They help pay for presenters to come to places all over the country. It's a really great place. Probably if you have done ORF levels, you know the name Sweet Pipes because they also publish books for a recorder. But they not only do they publish those books, they also sell resources, including ukuleles and recorders and all sorts of stuff and puppets. And this is my new obsession. This is called like the Wise Old Owl. And my favorite thing about it, okay, so I have 2 or 3 owl puppets already. Did I need another one? Yes, I needed this one because he's very wise and smart. And my favorite thing about him is his eyebrow spoof, which I think is just hilarious. And can you also move his mouth? Sure. Okay, hold on. I put him on the wrong hand. Hold on. I'm right-handed. I should do this. Okay, does his mouth move? Yes. I just like imagine him with like a Yoda voice. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, like I don't know, but there's so many possibilities for this. Yes, there are. And but I just love that his eyebrows do movements, so he could be very dubious. Or he could be tired. Like I have not giggled so much. What's funny is when it came in at school, my assistant principal came down and brought it and put it on my desk. As I was teaching, she's like, little thing for you. And later she goes, I want you to know that the secretary and I, when she opened the box from the vendor or whatever, she's like, the secretary and I played with this thing for like 10 or 15 minutes. I just want you to know that. I was like, it brings joy already. Anyway, okay. Also, I love on Instagram, me needing more puppets? Absolutely, yes. Do his wings move? Yes, you can do cool things with his wings. Can you put my fingers in his feet? No, who needs that? Don't need that. Because I'm going to be spending most of my time just doing eyebrow movements. I just think that's the most hilarious. So anyway, still figuring out how I'm going to master this and use this. Don't know, but I knew I needed it. So this came from my great friends at Sweet Pipes, and you should go check it out and see what you can do with it as well. I'm trying to figure out like how can I master some wing movement. There are so many things you can do. Anyway, this puppet, the Wise Old Owl, will be a new amazing staple in my classroom. Mm-hmm. Yes. Doesn't it just look Yoda? I don't know. Anyway, okay. So excited. All right. So I have a first grade concert next week. And the concert I'm just calling Into the Wild. Every year I try and have like a kind of loose concept theme for first grade because I don't want to do too much in the concerts that are just specific to the one concert. I want to be able to teach all the songs that I teach like every year anyway. And so I'm able to like most years take those songs and sort of put them into a concert theme and change some things. So like last year, my theme was called like growing up, and we did songs about like family and home, and like we talked about the family animals, and we talked about like what we wanted to be when we grew up. But there were a lot of songs that like naturally I was teaching in first grade anyway, and then they just became a part of the program, like friendship and meeting friends. There were some songs that like we were already doing anyway. Another year I did a barnyard theme. Another year I did a wild animals theme or a zoo theme. And there are so many songs that I teach that are animal themed or animal related that just was so simple to throw together. So this year I was like, I'm going to do a show. I'm calling it Into the Wild. And it's about like going to the forest or going to the mountains and like, what do we do when we're there? And so it's like kind of camping themed. The kids are going to come dressed as like in camping gear or with pictures of animals on the front of their shirt or whatever, something along that theme. And there are going to be songs like, we're going to the forest, and the very first song is this song that I'm going to do with you in a second. We're going to sing I Love the Mountains. We're going to do, we get to our campsite, we're hungry. We're going to do the PB&J song. We're doing a song from Music K8 called like Ode to a Marshmallow, which is about s'mores. There's another one in there that I can't recall off the top of my head. And we're going to end with She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain. Like anything that's like animal, not ocean, animal, wild, wilderness, forest, whatever. That can all work in. We're going to do Grizzly Bear. Grizzly Bear was sleeping in a cave. We're going to do Let Us Chase the Squirrel. Like all these songs that sort of fit together. It doesn't need to be a bunch of songs that are just taught just for the concert. But I wanted an opening song that was like mountain themed or like could get us started. And so the place I went to find ideas was this book by Lynn Kleiner called My Trip to the Mountains. So Lynn Kleiner is a presenter. She's a teacher who uses the Orff Shulverk approach. And she's also known for Music Rhapsody. So Music Rhapsody is like her music school out in California, but also it's like what the name she publishes under. But she does a lot under Music Rhapsody. So if you know the name Music Rhapsody, you probably also know Lynn Kleiner. She also does like summer trainings and stuff like that, and does workshops at Orff chapters and things around the country throughout the year. But she has a series of books. Gosh, here they are. On the back, there's one that's all farm theme, one that's all ocean theme, one that's jungle theme, one that's like finger plays, kids stuff. All of her stuff is really great. It's especially great for early elementary or preschool. There's just a lot of content that is just so great for that age. So when I knew I was doing a mountain theme concert, I was like, well, let's see what Lynn has in her book. And it gave me so many ideas. And there were like a list of like 4 or 5 or 6 things that I was like, I wish I could add that in. I just don't have time to teach all of that. But I wanted a song that like really would sort of bring us together to start. And I found this song early on in the book called Drive into the Mountains. And it's a fun song and it's fun for exploration. So let me just take you through like kind of how I taught it. So the first part goes like this. Driving in my car to the mountains, to the mountains, to the mountains. Driving in my car to the mountains, got a long way to go. That's like the chorus, okay? And so with my kids, with my students, when I taught it, I actually changed the words to through the forest. Because I said, here we are going through the forest. I didn't want to be just mountain themed for this concert, so I changed this specific song to forest. So when I taught it, we did driving in my car through the forest, through the forest, through the forest. Driving in my car through the forest, got a long way to go. I'm just using D minor and A minor on the ukulele as an accompaniment for right now. I actually taught it on the piano. Like I was at the piano in my classroom. And that was really great when I was trying to teach them the melody of the song. I was able to play it as I did chords and things with my other hand. So I actually taught this on the piano, but I'm going to, when we do it for the concert, we're going to perform it with the ukulele. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So the chorus is just this driving in my car through the forest. But then the verses are, watch it for the bumps. And so when I first taught the song, Driving in my car, I said, you know, you got your car, grab your steering wheel, you're going to drive around. You're going to take whatever path you think you're going to take. So that my kids are just moving through the room, listening to me sing as I sing this the first couple times. And I said, you know, after the first time, okay, take a different path. How can you get there? We just played with pathways that first day. How can you get from one place to another? Maybe you have a zigzag path. Maybe you have a very smooth path. Maybe you have lots of little curves or whatever. And so kids were just moving as they listened to me sing. And we went through about 2 or 3 times before I ever asked them to like, can you pick up part of the melody? Some of them were immediately starting to do that, to sing along. But with my students, I didn't require them to do that. It just was like, you know, here's this song I'm going to sing. Your job is to move as if you're driving. Okay, some kids ignored the song and were like, you know, whatever. But kids, first grade. Okay, so then I said, now, you know, we're in the forest, but when you're driving on this road that goes through the forest, forest roads don't get taken care of as much as like city roads or country roads or what. You know, they're in the forest and there's stuff happens. And so, you know, sometimes the road, it needs worked on and just hasn't been worked on in a while. Well, guess what? In this road, there are some bumps. And when you're driving along and you have a bump, oh my gosh, you're going to have to, oh my goodness, watch out for the bumps. And so we're going to have to add a new part to our song. This part goes, watch out for the bumps. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Watch out for the bumps. Whoop, Got a long way to go. Now that is what's in the book, right? Watch out for the bumps. And then there are like 3 chances for bumps. Watch out for the bumps. 1 more chance for bumps. Got a long way to go. Now, that is cool and I like it and it worked in the book. And if I were to keep pressing it, kids would probably get that pattern. But my kids didn't. And I was like, I'm running out of time. I don't want to like force this pattern on them. So what I did instead was watch out for the bumps, bump, bump, bump. Watch out for the bumps, bump, bump, bump. Got a long way to go. So instead of sort of an irregular phrase where it's like, watch out for the bumps, 1, 2, 3. Watch out for the bumps, 1, got a long way to go. I just did watch out for the bumps, 1, 2, 3 bumps. Watch out for the bumps, 1, 2, 3 bumps. Got a long way to go. It just sort of simplified for them trying to figure out like, how many bumps are there? It's always 3. Okay, so when I did that with kids, it would sound kind of like this. Watch out for the bumps. Watch out for the bumps. Got a long way to go. Now on the piano, I was just doing like pound on the keys, like boom, 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 so they could like feel that bump. And it was hilarious to see them like, like jolt or whatever. And then we would go back and we sang the chorus. Driving in my car through the forest. And then they're back to just driving like normal. Oh my gosh, you guys, but guess what? This forest road? Well, if you're going like in the country, you can just go straight. Or if you're going, like through a fields, like that's no problem. But there are like trees and hills and mountains. This road is all weird and curvy, and it goes like around and through and move. And so you got to watch out for the curves. So our next verse was watch out for the curves. Now the accompaniment, because this actually does come with a CD. And it comes with a digital accompaniment, which is already pre-done for you. So if you want to use like the CD, you can to teach us. It's kind of cool. But the accompaniment has like a chromatic like which is like a cool thing for the ukulele. I'm modifying that sort of sound. So watch out for the curves. I'm going to do something like that just so they can get sort of that idea of like, ooh, so you could do whatever you want. Again, I tried to make it predictable. So watch out for the curves. I could do that a third time. Watch out for the curves. Got a long way to go. So that would be very easy for them to do. And then the third one, and then we could do a sing chorus, watching, driving in my car through the forest. Then the third verse that is in the book is, what's that on the road? And then my kids, we did, oh no, there's something in the middle of the road. What are you going to do? You're going to slam on the brakes. And so the kids are moving and then they go. So then again, with the piano, I just did like chord, chord, chord to sort of stop them. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do for ukulele because I haven't officially transferred this over yet, but I'm gonna for the concert. What's that on the road? I could just do that, I guess. That'd be something they could do. I don't know. And then they can do the screeching sound. I don't know. It was tonight before this video that I was like, I should do this on ukulele. I'll tell you why in a second. But so they learned those 3 verses the very first day. They learned the chorus, driving in my car. And then I didn't actually have them sing along with the verses on the first day because I was like, if they can learn the chorus and learn the idea of the structure of the song of like A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, if they can learn that, that's all we need. In the second day when we did this song, I had them sing the chorus. We went back through the 3 verses that we learned because we've kind of done that already. And then I said, okay, I put them in groups of 2 or 3 and I was like, what other things might you encounter in the forest that could like give you problems on the road? And I mean, yeah, there are a lot of things in the forest. There are bears and there are deer, there are grass, there are trees, but we're thinking about, we're driving through the forest. So it needs to be something that could like give us trouble on the road. Not like over there is a butterfly in a meadow. Yeah, but that's not going to stop us in our, so you need to brainstorm things. And they came up with so many things. There's water on the road. A branch is low over the road. Maybe there are deer jumping across the road. they're like, there's a porcupine that has crawled onto the road. Like they came up with so many ideas that I had not thought of. In fact, one day I even I wrote down a list of 10 things and I took a picture and I was like, I should do this from the next class. And they came up with other ideas. So for the concert, we're going to do about 5 different verses. 2 or so might be from Lynn's book, and then the others are inspired by my students. So one is Low Hanging Branches. And then what's the other one that they came up with? I don't have it written down. The concert's not till next week. I have time to figure this out. But they're going to use those, and it's going to inspire the movement and trying for the concert. So it was super fun to put together for them to play, because it was mostly just born out of play, of them pretending like they're driving through and what could that be. And then we learned the structure of the verse chorus, and then once we had explored and tried, now we sort of solidified it for 5 verses, and then that's what we practice for the concert. Now, how is this going to fit in? It's our very first song, and I've done this before with mostly success. I can't wait to try it with this group and see how it works. But with other grades I've done where for the concert, instead of starting on the risers, we start at the edge of the gym, at the doors to the gym. And we walk in and process in and walk around the main audience as many times as we want, and then end up on the risers. The very first year I did this with first grade, I was like, this ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. Walking and singing, they're gonna be able to hear it, they aren't gonna be able to follow it together. Nope. And it's gonna be just a hot mess. What it turned out to be, I think that was the year that I did the zoo, Animals Escape from the Zoo. I think it was called Animal Escape was the year. This is 2 or 3 years ago. I remember thinking this ain't gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. In rehearsals, we're gonna try it. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna scrap it. And what turned out was, it was really fun. It was really cute. The kids loved doing it. It gave all of the audience a chance to see all of the kids moving. It gave them a chance to see them and hear them a little bit better instead of one big mass. I piped the accompaniment of the ukulele that I was playing through the gym so all the kids could hear it. And they did, for the most part, stay together. I have an electric ukulele at school with a wireless pickup. So I'm able to strum into the ukulele, and it connects to the soundboard and then can be piped through. So that works really well to help amplify the sound. And what's hilarious is I'm at just the front of the line. I feel like the Pied Piper, leading this group of first graders around the gym. So what I'm planning to do on this version is on Driving in My Car Through the Forest. That's when we move. And then on the verse, we will stop and carry out whatever silly thing it is. Watch a forward, or what's that in the road? Oh my gosh, I remember what the final thing was. There are deer in the road, and the kids are going to turn into deer and jump like they're jumping on the road. Instead of an obstruction on the road, they are going to be the obstruction, of course. Sorry, I couldn't remember that 3 minutes ago. Anyway, so leading them around the Pied Piper, again, the very first time I thought about doing this, or was I want to try this, I was it ain't gonna work. I just know it's gonna fall apart. And then we did it in rehearsal, and then it worked. And I find that the more times I have crazy ideas like that, this year's idea for second grade was, what if we did a song with kazoos? It ain't gonna work. And then we did it, and it worked, and it was, anyway, so try and surprise yourself. You never know. You could, silly things. So for this one, it's going to be our opener song. We're going to go around the gym. We're going to process around the gym. But the great thing about it is it's a song about driving through the forest, right? So there we are physically moving. It's a song that starts us out on our journey into the wild. And there we are physically doing it. But more than that, it gives parents a chance to see their kids moving and singing. It's not all just stand and sing on the risers. Once we do get to the risers, I can just vamp on the ukulele and play chords or whatever as we make our way up to the risers. And then it's not just you need to be in the right order in line to get up on the right. Then we just casually get up to the risers and they find their spots. And if you practice it enough times, it works just fine. So anyway, maybe I'll report back in 2 weeks and be I said it will probably work just fine, and it didn't. Maybe that's what'll happen. But I'm going to just trust that it will happen, and we're going to try it. We're going to see. So the song "Driving" is called "Driving to the Mountains," and it's in Lynn's book called "My Trip to the Mountains." But we just changed it to "Driving in My Car Through the Forest," and you could change, whatever, and make adaptations as you want. I'm trying to look here in Lynn's book because. Yeah, in the book, she has them holding hand drums like steering wheels. How hilarious. She has them, you can use the recording that's there. She asks the kids to come up with their own lyrics of things, driving the mountain. You can even just think about what animals might be jumping across the road. But anyway, there are other things in here, ideas for solos, ideas for call and response. Lynn, that's the thing I love about these books is like it gives you a solid foundation of an idea, and then it gives you like, here are 4 or 5 things you could do if you wanted, if you're just in the classroom, if you're making it more of a performance, if you're sharing it with someone else. There are just so many cool things in here, and at the back of the book, they're like craft thing kids could do, which you could absolutely do if you wanted extension lessons, if you wanted visuals, if you wanted kids to have something to take home, or maybe you're just doing it in class, or maybe you're a music and art teacher, or maybe you want to leave things for a sub that like go along with, like there are so many options. The book's only like $34.99. I put the link to it where you can buy it from Sweet Pipes when you buy your owl puppet. They go together. Honestly, I think they go together. You should get both. But it's a really, really great book. The very first Lynn Kleiner book I bought was SOS Songs of the Sea. And I swear I've used every single song in there for something, for a concert, for a lesson, for a summer camp. I mean, I've used them for so many things. I eventually went and bought all of her other books. So I have them all, and My Trip to the Mountains is really great. Like I said, I needed more ideas for this concert, and I went straight to the book, and I found so many things. It's absolutely worth your time. I wonder if I have, because I'm pretty sure I have my own personal copies. I don't know if I have them here. My own personal copies and copies at school, because I like them so much, and if I ever were to leave this school, I want my own copy. So I'm sure I have a copy here in my office, but I brought my one from school. Anyway, check out the book. There are really cool things. Driving in my car is just one option. Oh, also, the thing I love about Lynn's arrangements is so many of them have actual kid voices, and so many of them have Orff instrument accompaniments. It's amazing. Also, she has ideas in here for Orff instrument accompaniment if you want kids to do stuff. You should just check out the book. It's totally worth your time to check out. If you don't have one, get one. Choose, I'm going to do a farm themed concert, get that one. Or I'm going to do get Jungle Beat. I mean, like there's so many options. Anyway, I was thinking about what songs do I need. I went to this book. I found so many things. There are songs that I wished I could fit in. I just don't have the time. And I don't want my first grade concert to be 90 minutes. So I had to sort of think about that and choose what I wanted from there. Anyway, I thought I was going to do a piano accompaniment, but now that I think I'm going to lead them around, I'll probably switch to ukulele accompaniment. It's such a simple and easy song that I can do it with just the 2 chords, and D minor and A minor are actually pretty easy to play, relatively easy. Anyway, I'm excited about the song. I'm excited about the possibilities. I hope that you see that you could use it for a concert, but also just in your class. And there are lots of opportunities for like, what else could we pretend is there? Lots of opportunities for movement and change and exploration with this song. Okay, I hope this gives you some great ideas. I'm going to be back next week for another Musical Mondays video. Maybe in that video, I'll just talk about some of the other songs that I'm using this concert. If you're interested, leave a comment and say like, yeah, I would like to hear more about that. If not, I will in 2 weeks be talking about this song and like, how did it go? I told you like, this is what I was planning, but we'll see how it actually went. But anyway, I hope I'll see you next Monday for another Musical Mondays video. Until then, you can dream about this beautiful, amazing Wise Owl puppet and what you're going to do when it comes in. Go and order it from Sweet Pipes right now. I promise you won't regret it. Again, I will give you one more chance to see these amazing eyebrows in action. Are you excited about this, Wise Owl? So excited. I feel like maybe I shouldn't even just use his mouth to talk. It should just be his eyebrows that talk, because I could move his mouth. Yes. But I think that he could talk with Justice Rivals. Do you think so? Like, I think that would be hilarious. Anyway, I hope I'll see you for another Musical Mondays video. And by then, I hope you have your Wise Owl puppet ready and in your hand. Okay. Bye, everyone. Have a great night.